Hello, everyone. I'm Robin, and these are my reflections. And today I'm here to just have a little bit of fun. I just want to have a little bit of fun between the release of Beetlejuice, and the Beetlejuice Tarot. So I made a little Beetlejuice Tarot tag. I think that this idea sort of came to me as I was watching. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, story time. Let me just give you a little backstory. I went to see Beetlejuice, and the lady who sold me my tickets asked me if I'd watched the previous movie before in preparation, and I was like, "Girl, please." That movie runs on repeat in my head. All anybody needs to say is Beetlejuice, and boom, it just starts running on a repeat for hours in my head. I know all the words. I don't need to rewatch it. I know it. Yeah. And then I got home, and I was talking to anybody that would listen about the new movie and the old movie, and we were reciting quotes from the old movie. I don't know any quotes from the new movie yet. I've only seen it once. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm working a couple of days later, and I watched this fantastic video from Logan at Larkin Legend. Well, it was on their channel, but it was a three-pack between Logan, Julie at Peekaboo Rose, and Tegan at Cosmic Creeper. So I was watching this video where Logan took quotes from Twilight and made them into tarot prompts, which I'm absolutely doing a VR too. Absolutely. Stay tuned for that if you want to see it. But because I can't not. I have to. So then I was like, you know what? I want to do a tag for Beetlejuice. Then what sealed the deal was that I remembered that last year, while we were waiting on the Buffy tarot to come out, Rumor from Rumor Haven gave us a Buffy tag. So I was like, I'm doing Beetlejuice. So I searched on YouTube. I didn't see any other Beetlejuice tags. So here we are. I'm starting the shenanigans. Let's do it. I was writing down quotes from the old movie because I don't want to do any spoilers from the new movie. And not that I can remember that many quotes anyway. I only saw the movie once. And then I was thinking to myself, I had like 14, 15 quotes, and I was thinking that's too many. So I just kind of shrunk it. I halved it. So I took the top seven of the ones that I think are the best anyway. But you guys, if anybody wants to join in here, feel free to add your own favorite quotes in, or do less than seven if seven is too many. It's up to you guys. But I love a pop culture tag. If you haven't seen my other pop culture tag that I created, I have a whole playlist for it. Please check it out if you like this kind of stuff. But I am going to get started. So, prompt number one. I had to start with this one. It's showtime. So this is anything that is cinematic, a deck that is cinematic. So this would be a deck that feels like a movie, looks like a movie, reminds you of a movie, and then of course let us know what movie it reminds you of, or it is a deck of a movie, like maybe a deck that is based on a movie. So I'm gonna go with this one. This one is called the Movie Tarot. Um, this was an indie deck that came out, I think, in 2020. These are the backs. So this one is out of print now, but this is the most cinematic deck I think I have because it's a different movie on every single card. And I know all of these movies, so I really enjoy using this deck when I do get it out. I usually pull it out this time of year because something about the way that the artist rendered the movies, the way they draw, it reminds me of the fall and like I don't know, like vampire movies and stuff like that. So I keep it for the fall. But maybe it's the black borders as well. So it was in my fall box, but it's out now and I like reading with this one because I know a lot of these movies and the ones that I don't know or if I can't remember, it's written at the bottom so I can look it up and kind of get a feel for the movie so that I can, and it's fun to try to correlate the movie with the card. I think that the ones that I know and the ones that I've looked up, they've done a fantastic job, and I really like this deck. It makes me smile. There, I don't know people. I think if you know me, if you've been on my channel long enough, you've probably heard me say that I need every single deck with Keanu Reeves in it, like all of them. And so that's what made me want this one. But I do love a lot of these other movies. Like this is Four Weddings and a Funeral, Blind Spotting, The Lobster. I don't that movie was crazy, man. This is Dangerous Liaisons, Logan, the little girl from Logan, Hereditary, Sing Street, Children of Men. So yeah, really love this one. And I think it definitely matches my It's Showtime prompt. This is center stage. Keanu, he's in here several times. This is him as Constantine. Look, this is him in Point Break. Look, they're all here together. Here's John Wick. So we'll just leave it there. So this is again, the prompt is it's Showtime. A deck that feels cinematic. Prompt number 2, I'm the ghost with the most. So this is any ghoulish deck that you have. So anything ghoulish, anything with ghosts, vampires, werewolves, creepy ghoulish kind of beings, or just ghosts, or that's fine too. It could be cute little ghosts, whatever. This is a ghoulish deck, and I have gone with Mother Mort's Carnival of Souls Oracle deck. So I'd like to take this opportunity to say that if you do decide to participate, feel free to use whatever deck you want. It doesn't have to just be tarot deck. I did call it a tarot tag, but that's just because I like the alliteration. It can be whatever decks you want. Sevilla decks, Lenormand decks, playing card decks, whatever. I'm going with this one. This is the Mother Mort's Carnival of Soul. I find this to be sufficiently ghoulish. If you know the story of this deck, it is it's a carnival of souls. It's a deck of souls that have been collected at this carnival. And I think when I look at this deck, the green kind of reminds me of a Beetlejuice set anyway. But I also feel like these are some creatures or characters or beings that we might meet in that afterlife waiting room in the Beetlejuice movie, I feel like they could be there for real. So I thought that this worked really well um for my I'm the ghost with the most prompt, the ghoulish deck. Well, she's not so ghoulish, but I could definitely see her in the waiting room. Creepy little clowns, some kind of flying gargoyle. I don't even know what. Like, so yeah, this is my ghoulish deck. Mother Moore's Carnival of Souls. The next quote is I myself am strange and unusual. And this is a deck that is weird but lovable. And I am going with this one. This is the Cat Tarot. It's a Los Scarabeo deck. Um, I think this deck is so strange, but I just freaking love it. And let me just get it out of the box so I can show it to you. So these are the backs, and as you can see, we're already starting out weird. And what we have is the Da Vinci Man with a cat head. So yeah, I think that this deck is so cool. I love it. It's cat people. So it's people and they're pop culture icons. So these are people that you're going to, this is upside down. There are people that you're going to know and recognize. Like you can see this is Alice from Alice in Wonderland. I'm not sure who these people are. Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, but they all have cat heads. Like you got Marilyn Monroe, but then as if to add insult to injury, right? They had the nerve to put it in the guidebook. Where's the guidebook at? Oh, it's in here. In the guidebook, they had the nerve to add cat to the names of the characters. For the Six of Cups, you have Catter Pan instead of Peter Pan, and Don Quixote instead of Don Quixote. Cat Author and Catatin and Catarella and Little Thumb Cat. I was like, stop it. When I saw this, I was like, this is a hot mess, but I'm here for it. I love this deck so much. It makes me laugh. There's Gene Kelly from Singing in the Rain with his mouth wide open, his cat mouth. And I don't know if when I see this picture, if I hear him singing, like, because I've seen this movie a million times, or if I hear like a cat like meowing at the top of its lungs. Like, you never know what's going to come to my mind when I see that. There's Mary Poppins or Catter Poppins or Mary Cat Poppins. I don't even know. And then I don't know who this is. Oh, this might be from yeah, because it says I Want to Believe. This is from X-Files. I'm not sure if that's Mulder or Scully. I never saw the show, but I remember X-Files. Very, very cool deck. Definitely weird, but lovable. Just like Lydia. Strange, but lovable. And yeah, this is the cat tarot from Los Scarabeo. Next quote, my whole life is a dark room. A deck that is photographic or a deck that feels like you're looking into a photo. So this could mean that it's either a deck of photos or it could be that it looks like it's been taken in maybe some sort of studio. right? And the lighting looks like a photo. Or maybe the frame on the card or the borders on the card makes it feel like you're looking at a picture in a frame or something like that. It just looks like you're looking into a photo. And so I have chosen Gift of Life Tarot. So I went spot on. This is definitely a deck of photos. This is a deck that you can find on Etsy. I really love looking at these pictures. And I picked this one in particular because this is a deck that I don't use much to read with, but I really enjoy looking at the pictures and thinking about the cards. I don't use it much to read with because it's big. The cards are about the size of a Blue Angel Oracle deck, and it's hard for me to shuffle and manipulate, and it's hard to get a lot of the cards on the table. But I do love looking at these pictures. So this is one that I thumb through pretty often just to look at the kids enjoying their life or the people enjoying their life. There are a lot of kids in here, um, just looking happy, getting up the stuff, you know. And I just like this deck. I like it. I like to see the people living life and doing their thing. Um, and you know, I don't get to travel much anymore, but you know, sometimes it reminds me of some of the places that I've traveled to, or maybe places I want to go someday. You know, and maybe these are cultures I'll never get to experience, but at least I can see a snippet of their life captured in a photograph in this deck. So I enjoy this one. And again, this is the Gift of Life. Sarah, look at that. Oh my goodness. It's just some of these just really make me smile because you know, you think back to the time when you were doing something like that, you know, and how joyful it felt and how good it felt, especially like on a hot day. Look at this. All right, so that's my pick for my whole life is a dark room, even though this deck is not dark. And this is a deck that's photographic or a deck that feels like you're looking into a photo. I promise you, I've seen a picture of myself just like this. I promise you, I was wearing probably the same little skirt, definitely had those little glasses in a shoebox or a photo album somewhere. Somewhere. I know there is. I've seen it. I've seen it. Next quote, nice fucking model. This is details, details, details. A deck that shines in its details. So this is a deck that you either like the production of the details of the production, the details of the choices on the cards, maybe some of the details in the artwork, maybe all of that. But it's a deck where the details caught your eye. Some part of the detail of the deck caught your eye. And this is the one I chose, the Horror Tarot by Todd Alcott. I have a whole walkthrough of this if you guys are interested in seeing more of it. I really feel like this deck has, there are some details that I feel like were missed. Like this should have had a magnetic strip on it. I shouldn't have had to tape one on there. But stuff like this, the blood splatter, the way this book looks like a box on my shelf, which I love. Well, the way this box looks like a book on my shelf. I love that. I love the backs. I love the fronts. And I also really love this little guidebook. The guidebook is so detail oriented. The artists went through and created a studio to produce each suit. There are different types of books that have been produced. There are different types of movies. Like there's a horror studio that they created to produce the movies posters that we see in the major arcana in this deck. There is a publishing company that they created to produce the books covers that we see in some of the, you know, so it's just, they just really took the time. Created comics to produce the sword suit. They created, I think, magazines for the pentacles. So like everything has been created they created a world here. And the details of this guidebook really, really, I felt were like above and beyond. And even though it's only 55 pages, it's definitely worth a read if you have this deck. Now, the cards. Let's zoom in. So the cards come with their own set of special details. So on the posters where you would see taglines, on the magazines where you would see, I don't know, things to announce what's inside the magazine, and on the movie posters, sometimes where you would see like the production information, like this should be like the actors and the producers and all of that, the production studios. Instead, you get keywords. So for the Hermit here, the tagline section says ninth card in the major arcana, and then where you would find the actors and the production information, it says the Hermit stands alone on top of a mountain, which symbolizes his spiritual mastery, growth, and accomplishment. He has chosen this path of self discovery and as a result has reached heightened state of awareness of himself and the world he lives in. So then they took this even further by capitalizing some of these words so they stand out as keywords on the cards, which makes them easy for your eyes to pick out, even though this is small down here. So it's the details. It's the details. Everything was so well thought out on this deck. I really love it. I really love it. Even here on the pulp novel covers, you've got a couple of keywords on here. Some of them don't, but most of them do. Look at this Fool card. And I just really enjoy all of these little details in this deck. So for that reason, the Horror Tarot is my pick for Nice Fucking Model, a deck that shines in its details. Next quote, I don't think we survived that crash. And I picked the prompt for this one is a deck that brings harsh truths into the light. This is very subjective. It could be a deck that you use to dig out harsh truths, or a deck that does it on its own, or it could be like a deck that just picks at you all the time for no reason at all, or something like that, you know. But I chose for me the Local Honey Picture Box, an Oracle deck of and Self Love Toolkit by Emily Wilcox. This is a deck that doesn't ever get off my desk. I have had it on my desk since I got it, and I will keep it on my desk probably always. It definitely has made me cry a few times, but there are some, here we go, reality checks in here. It will bring harsh truths into the light. So I think that sometimes there are things that are hidden that for all of us, that we pack away and we maybe not even realize we packed away, or maybe we do know we packed them there for safekeeping or whatever, you know. But this deck gently coaxes those out. It can sometimes be a cathartic release and you know, cause a little bit of tears. But I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I really love this deck. I think it's not only beautiful but powerful. And so I picked this one for my I don't think we survived that crash, a deck that brings harsh truths into the light. And again, this is the Local Honey Picture Box. These are the backs. Last but not least, one of the quotes that every time I hear it in the movie, after seeing this movie 100 times, probably more than that, I still laugh every time I hear it. And that is, and you let Beetlejuice out and you didn't put him back. And this is a deck that can get a little out of pocket sometimes, you know, just like Beetlejuice. You leave it out, you leave it unattended, and it can get a little out of pocket. And what I mean by out of pocket, if you don't know what that means, is that it can maybe get a little sassy, maybe get a little mean, maybe get up to stuff it has no business getting into, digging into stuff, places it doesn't need to go. You know, it gets out of pocket. Think Beetlejuice, you know, left unattended. You know? And I'm thinking about decks that maybe, you know, they can be maybe a little sassy, maybe a little mean, or maybe make your readings maybe prompt you to be a little sassy or a little mean when you're reading with it. Or maybe a deck that's a little bit scary and you don't even realize it until you use it on someone and they're like, what the hell is that? That could fit for this prompt as well. I'm going with Tarot of Haunted House by Sasha Graham. My poor boxes beat all the hell, y'all. But this one is a deck. These are the beautiful smoky backs that I just love. This is a Los Scarabeo deck. It's a mass market deck. You can get it anywhere. Let me zoom in. It's a deck. I mean, I like this deck and I think it's fun, but let's be honest. This is a deck full with a whole suit full of demons, and you know, it's creepy. It can be a little creepy. And I learned my lesson the hard way using this deck to read for people because I do enjoy using it to read. I like it. And I tried to use it to read for other people for a while, but it just kept scaring people. And and it, even though it doesn't seem scary to me, and I don't think about it. So I don't think to, you know, when I see it lying on the table, make excuses for it or anything. Like, okay, this looks scary, but this card doesn't really, you know what I mean? Like, that is something that I wasn't watching for. And I read with this deck for one person and she freaked all the way out on one of the cards. And it was it happened to me a couple of times actually, but the last time I remember very clearly, it was the Five of Swords. So let me see if I can. Yeah, here she is. So it was just a reading about how she had to, be a little bit selfish, worry more about herself than other people because, um, they weren't really worried about her. You know what I mean? They were, so she needs to watch her back, basically. And she was like, but she was like, but why does she have a knife? Like, who's stabbing me in the back? Like, she freaked out when she saw this card. And I was like, see, this is what I'm talking about, out of pocket. Like, why does she have a knife? What is she getting ready to do with these knives? Why do we need psychotic maid in the deck? It's out of pocket. Like, but then again, it is the tarot of haunted house. So yeah, so this is definitely one of my choices. Definitely a deck that can get a little out of pocket when left unattended. Like, she was freaking out about who was stabbing her in the back, and it wasn't even about all that. Like, it just wasn't even about all that. So yes, this one can definitely get a little out of pocket when left unattended. And the other one that I have here is Rebel deck. This is the glam edition. Look at this. It's very cursy. This deck is all the way out of pocket, not even just a little bit. I think if somebody spoke to me like this on the street, we would need to square up. Like, we would have to fight. Like there is no way I would let somebody talk to me like this. A little sharp edged. It's supposed to be that way, and it's funny. But I think sometimes it catches me off guard, and I'm like, what? Like, what you say? What just came out of your mouth? And it's crazy when you get in an attitude with your oracle deck. So this is like, it says stuff like, keep shit simple, be fucking grateful. Get the fuck out of your head. I'm like, wait, watch your mouth. You know what I mean? Don't talk to me like that. What the fuck do you want? So yeah, I think that some of these are great. Like, you can be loved. Don't believe every shitty thought you have. And of course, this is funny. I'm not taking offense to any of this, but maybe if I read for someone else, they might take offense to this. So this could definitely get out of pocket for someone who maybe doesn't like cursey decks or is kind of sensitive. They might feel offended by some of some of the things that these say. These ones that say rebel affirmation just have like affirmations on the back, and the affirmations are cursy. So this one says, just for today, I fucking trust all the drama in my life is being handled. I believe in myself and my higher purpose. I have an open heart, calm mind, and juicy fucking soul. So yeah, this one is definitely, I think, a, a good deck for this. Again, prompt. That last prompt was, and you let Beetlejuice out and you didn't put him back. Which is a deck that can get a little out of pocket sometimes. Those are the last of my prompts here today. So that was good for me. I hope it was good for you. Sounds like something Beetlejuice would say, right? I am going to put in the description box below all those things I mentioned earlier, those two videos, the one with Twilight, the one with Buffy. I'll put the prompts for this one down below, and the tag in the title and everything. I will put it all down there, as well as any links to pick up anything you see here today that you might be interested in if you want to get one. If you have a favorite quote from Beetlejuice that I didn't mention here, let me know that in the comments down below. I would love to hear it. And if you want to put a deck with it, let me know that too. I'd love to hear it. If you guys are going to do responses to this, please tag me wherever you're doing the response so that I can see it. Even if it's on Instagram or Facebook or here on YouTube, I'd love to see it. And until I see you guys next time, stay safe and be blessed. Bye-bye.